Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 23rd chapter, titled Devahuti's Lamentation, text number 54. Indriyartheshu sajjantya prasangastvai me krataha ajanantya param bhavam tathapyastva me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Devahuti is lamenting her position. As a woman, she had to love someone. Somehow or other, she came to love Kardama Muni, but without knowing of his spiritual advancement. Kardama Muni could understand Devahuti's heart. Generally, all women desire material enjoyment. They are called less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Devahuti laments because her husband had given her the best kind of material enjoyment, but she did not know that he was so advanced in spiritual realization. Her plea was that even though she did not know the glories of her great husband, because she had taken shelter of him, she must be delivered from material entanglement. Association with a great personality is most important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says that Sadhu Sangha, the association of a great saintly person, is very important because even if one is not advanced in knowledge, simply by association with a great saintly person, one can immediately make considerable advancement in spiritual life. As a woman, as an ordinary wife, Devahuti became attached to Kardama Muni in order to satisfy her sense enjoyment and other material necessities, but actually she associated with a great personality. Now she understood this and she wanted to utilize the advantage of the association of her great husband. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
Has come to her senses now that though I loved you, but it was largely attachment to the object of senses, that means attachment to you as a man, rather than a self-realized soul. Nonetheless, let the affinity I develop for you rid me of all fear. Even though she was attached to Kardama Muni as an object of sex pleasure, conjugal pleasure, that because he is a self-realized soul, his Kardama Muni's spiritual standing and spiritual advancement, or spirituality that emanated from him, while she was looking at him as an object of sense, has its own impact upon her soul. Just like in the story of Haridas Thakur, when the prostitute was waiting upon him, when I can engage in sensuality with Haridas Thakur, she was being conscious of Haridas Thakur day after day, waiting. In the process, what happened? She got sadhu sangha. And she became purified. And she surrendered to the holy name. So this is the advantage of associating with the sadhus. Even if one is not very advanced in knowledge, associating with the sadhu brings forth, because sadhu means, whether he is in a man's body, whether he is in a woman's body, sadhu means sadhu qualities will come out. And if the person is materialistic or non-materialistic, whoever interferes or interacts with that person will be touched by those Vaishnava qualities. In the case of Haridas Thakur, it was his compassion that touched her eventually. Now we see Devahuti, her affinity, her attachment to Kardama Muni as a husband. You cannot be attached to a non-person, you can be only attached to a person, isn't it? So he is attached to him, means he is attached to him, means she is touching all the sadhu qualities of Kardama Muni, which implied that she was getting purified, so much so that now at the end of it she is realizing, okay, she's come out of those emotion of sense enjoyment. She's come out of it. I loved you while remaining attached to the objects of senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. So, this is very, we need to understand these things from the descending process of knowledge as to how these things are facts and truths. Just like in this purport, Prabhupada is saying, Kardama Muni could understand Devahuti's heart. Generally, all women desire material enjoyment. They are less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Devahuti laments because her husband had given her the best kind of material enjoyment, but when she did not know that he was so advanced in spiritual realization. So anyway, so here again Prabhupada is making a statement. Yesterday we saw the statement where Prabhupada said that the Vedic principle is that the women should always be protected by the husband, should be protected by the father, the husband, or the son. They need always protection. And what is that kind of protection? Obviously, it is an established fact that that's why they call fairer sex. Physically, they are not strong as men. That is a fact. And that is physical protection. But they are not talking about that physical protection alone. We discussed yesterday how it needed protection of somebody who can help them guide with their emotions. Because it is the nature of a female brain. Now today I will not use the word male and female. I will use the word female brain and male brain. Because many men have female brains and many women have male brains. Okay, this is too much of topsy-turvy of karma of modern age. It is a fact. Many women have male brains and many females have, many male have female brains. So today we'll talk in terms of characteristics of male brain and female brain. Of course, first thing we need to understand is that, as I said here, Prabhupada is saying, we need to accept from the descending process this statement of the Shastra. In which way are the women less intelligent? We need to understand that. It is not about every kind of intelligence. If it is a flat statement that women are less intelligent than men, then how do you explain? In a class of girls and boys, the girls are always coming, let's say, first rank, second rank, third rank. Boys are lesser. So you should common sense. We should understand there is a what is the meaning of this? Less intelligent. So it is not a sweeping statement. Now here Prabhupada gives a reason. Because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Now material enjoyment means rasa. Rasa means emotion. And a female brain emotes more than a male brain. Emotes. That means creates emotions, generates emotions. More you generate emotions, your brain is filled with emotions, largely. There are thoughts and there are emotions. Normal intelligence that everybody talks about was called as IQ, was called cognitive intelligence. It was cognitive intelligence. About thoughts. Then they came up with emotional intelligence. Now before that we need to understand what is intelligence. Intelligence is a common word here. Emotional intelligence, cognitive intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to use knowledge to rearrange things towards a particular goal. That is intelligence. Suppose you want to organize a festival. Now so many items are there. You bring them all together, reorganize, you have knowledge of all those things, bring them and towards a good festival, organizing a good festival. Intelligence, organizing intelligence you can call. Now intelligence is the ability to reorganize knowledge towards a particular objective. Now this knowledge item could be, it could be either the elements with which the intelligence is dealing with. That element, those elements can be emotions or it can be thoughts. Or it can be combination. It can be emotionalized thoughts or it can be plain thoughts. Intelligence is the one that links these elements towards a particular goal. Which means to be intelligent in something, you need to have the ability to see the elements, put them together, reorganize them together in a way in which the result is achieved. Just like if you want to write an intelligent essay, you need language vocabulary also, isn't it? Also, you need the intelligence to connect this vocabulary in a manner in which the idea is communicated through the essay. So, intelligence needs something to act upon. So what you act upon could be the words of a language, could be emotions, could be reality, so many elements. Say we have to organize 10 people doing some job. Then all those elements are taken into the job and what it is and all those details. And then your brain works on reorganizing things. That's intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence again means you have a desired emotional goal. So you have to rearrange the emotions in such a way that you have that goal. Now coming back to suppose just because somebody has got good vocabulary of English, but he does not know how to connect the connect them and make into sentences and paragraphs, will you say that he has got linguistic intelligence? No, he's not intelligence. A lot of vocabulary will be there. Maybe he can repeat the whole dictionary. Right? So, elements are also required, and ability to manage them towards an objective is also required. Emotional intelligence is a very young field of modern psychology. Everything about emotional intelligence they have not found out. In the late 90s, this word was coined, emotional intelligence. And a lot of research, psychological research, they keep doing. And they've also researched on emotional intelligence, whether man has more emotional intelligence or women have more emotional intelligence. They've researched. And some researchers say women have more emotional intelligence. Some researchers say, no, only in certain things they have more emotional intelligence. In other things, man has more emotional intelligence. That's why I said it's a very young field. For instance, in handling one's own emotions, a female brain is less intelligent. Suppose you give a female a job of a counselor, she does better than a man. So, in some researches, they give counseling job to females and males, male counselors. Female counselors are able to be more effective because their vocabulary is good of emotions and they are not attached, it's not their emotions. So they are able to handle their other person's emotions effectively. So that, because of that because of that particular kind of a research finding, they said, oh, women are more intelligent than, emotional intelligence more of than them, than the men's. But when it comes to their own emotions, they find that man is more emotionally intelligent than woman. Actually, it's very common sense. Suppose in a family, somebody dear and near one dies. Who are the most affected people? Women or men? Women. Because they cannot get stuck. They get stuck in that emotion. They cannot come out of that emotion easily. They cannot come out of those emotions. The reason why they get stuck could be also because they emote too much. The intensity of emotion is too much. That could be also a reason. So they get unstuck is very difficult. And we already discussed that intelligence means you should be able to freely handle the elements. You should freely handle the emotions, this emotion, that emotion, bring them together and, you should be able to do. That agility you don't have. A female brain has less agility to move between the emotions than a man can move between the emotions. Man's brain can move between the emotions. Somebody near and dear one passed away, man is also affected. But he may be affected 5 days, 10 days, somebody died. Or even 1 month. But the mother of the house It'll go on for 5 months, 6 months, 1 year. They cannot take it out of their mind. So it is a characteristic of the female brain to get stuck in emotions. While I was doing this chanting seminar on attention, one devotee who is an Ayurvedic doctor gave me some information from Ayurveda. Ayurveda says that the mind has got two capacities. The capacity to concentrate on one thing, means to get stuck in one thing. It is called ekatva. And there is another capacity of the mind called anutva. Anutva is how fast you can move. Concentration is how deep you can get stuck. And anutva is how fast you can move. Move out of a particular concentration and go to the next one, next one, next one. So if you look at it like that, now take emotions. The ability of a female brain, the anutva, emotional anutva of a female brain will be less. Because their ability to come out of a present is slow. Emotion is slow. So therefore, to manage emotions, the speed at which they can manage emotional or handle an emotional situation, it takes long time. And in the meantime, in real life, you have to make decisions. You may make wrong decisions and get messed up in life. That is the reason you need assistance of a male brain who will advise, who will try to pull them out from being stuck in certain emotions and see things more realistically, free from attachment, to see things free from attachment. Now when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all these limitations go away. Why is that so? Provided you chant properly. You chant properly, you transcend these things, because that's all the very specific. Why you transcend, how you transcend. When you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, your ability to become aware of your emotions increases. General self-awareness, because when you attach to spirit, Supreme Spirit, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then your spirit touches, then you get spiritualized. Then when you get spiritualized, your ability to look from the top, your emotions. Not only emotions, everything you can look from your top. Your false egos also you can look from the top. That ability is not there in an animal, that ability is not there so easily in a female brain. That ability is not there even in a male brain. If the male brain is not spiritually evolved. So, we need to see there is something is there in the female brain, male brain, animal brain. Why do we say human life is very rare and very important? Because in human life you have got this ability to be self-aware. Now when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you become spiritually self-aware. That means you even rise above your social personalities, your social enjoying thing, you give up. Just like a devotee, how does he give up sense gratification? Not because he is thinking that I am the enjoyer, I don't want this enjoyment. No. The way he gives up is the enjoyer and the enjoyment should be bundled together and thrown. Not that you keep the enjoyer and then, no, I won't enjoy, I won't enjoy, I won't enjoy. Because he's not able to transcend and see the false ego of an enjoyer ego. So if he is able to see, when he is able to see the enjoyer ego, half the enjoyment will go away. Because it is our nature. What we see, we don't identify. What we see. Because it is everywhere. There is something me, and what I see is other things other than me. So disidentification becomes very natural when you see things. So similarly, when you see all your emotions, your ability to see your inner psyche, your emotions, to see them implies detachment. To a large degree detachment. When you're detached, then you're very easy to organize these things. When you think that feeling is me, feeling a feeling is different and seeing a feeling is different. If you have the ability to see a feeling of sense enjoyment, then the sense enjoyment will evaporate if you repeatedly see. Instead of seeing your feeling of sense enjoyment, if you go on feeling your feeling of sense enjoyment, you will get stuck more and more. That is self-awareness. Kshetrajna means knower. Without feeling, you should know, you should see. If you see, then you get detached from those things. So therefore, anybody, male or female, who chant Hare Krishna and transcends or develops the ability to transcend the bodily self-concept and see all these things in the mind, my emotions, my anger, my lust. If you learn how to see your lust, not feel your lust, see your lust, lust will vanish slowly. It's a different relationship with lust. So therefore, if this does not apply to those who chant Hare Krishna, just like if you see, take this example. Prabhupada clearly gives here the example, says that they are called less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. We have seen so many women, they give up material enjoyment and they serve Srila Prabhupada. So that degree they have transcended their limitations. But body is a body, brain is a brain. It will constantly harass you, it will bring that constantly, just because once you surrender to Krishna, just like male also, female, we are all limited by our bodies. Today, let's say I surrender to Prabhupada and Krishna and engage in devotional service. Doesn't mean my body, which is not me, and my mind and my previous vasanas won't pull me down. The characteristic of that will still affect my consciousness. And I have to continuously transcend that. Similarly, a soul who is in the female body, it will be continuously handicapped. But there is a way to transcend. They will get handicapped by being stuck in emotions. But one can, by simply chanting Hare Krishna every day, by understanding this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, one is not associated with these limitations. So it is not, one is stuck forever with the limitations of this body. So conclusion is that anyone who transcends, according to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, to that degree or the degree to which they transcend, they can be free from the limitations or the handicap imposed by over emoting. Some facts are there. Every thinking is emotional thinking. A female brain has more intensity of emotional thinking than a male brain. So the moment emotions are there, the speed is less. That number one. As I said, that anutva is less. If you're able to transcend and see a feeling, you see a feeling, it is no longer a feeling for the soul. It is an item. It is simply an item that is to be handled. Just like ideas are handled, emotions are handled. And because, as I said, so summarizing, there are 2-3 things. One is a female brain excessively emotes. That means emotional content is too much. Every thought, let's say a thing, every attachment to nice things. When man is attached, woman is attached, the intensity of attachment will be more. If they get attached, they'll get attached fully. Intensity will be more. They get attached, wife gets attached to the husband, they'll get attached too much. If they get attached. So much, the man will get scared. Because he's not able to see, he is not able to get attached like that. They get attached so much. So, practically everything, even in the work field also you will see, they may be able to, they get too attached, or if they are not too attached, then they may be, see, everywhere there are exemptions. As I said, somebody will be in a female body with a male brain. So you cannot say that. They may function very nicely without emotions also. That's why I said we are not analyzing males and females, we are analyzing male brain and female brain. From the characteristic you can find out whether the brain in this person's body is male brain or female brain. Predominated. Brain is brain, everybody's brain is brain. When some particular characteristic more, we call it as female brain. One characteristic is less, we call it as. Now in intelligent thinking, in reality, cognitive thinking, effective cognitive thinking matches with reality very often. Most of the problems, outside problems are connected, existential problems are connected not to emotional, they are connected to reality. So you need clear emotionless thinking. You cannot emotionally think about a real problem in life. If somebody has borrowed money from you and you're a female, you have a female brain, somebody borrowed money from you and you are also suffering, you don't have money, you are short of money, then you are also, considering, you are torn between two things. She also has a problem, I also have a problem. If I push her too much, I am putting her into problem to give back my problem, my money. So simply the person is not able to take a decision whether I should, whether I should fight for my money or not. I gave with good intention, now the person is not giving me. Then you are pulled apart. Oh, how I can trouble him, how I can go to the court against this person. Oh, my own person, this thing, all this thing goes on. Very difficult. So you need a clear thinking. Clear thinking means existential, example I am giving, existential things are governed by cognitive intelligence, not by emotional intelligence. Tomorrow, if you have money, you will eat. If you don't have money, you won't eat. This is reality, existence. If you simply feel compassion for somebody else than for yourself, what will happen to you? Will that compassion feed you? Will not feed you. Like that, so many emotional conflicts come. You need clear thinking. It's called objective thinking. We need objective thinking. We need even objective In interpersonal problems, two devotees have problems. It's actually emotional clash. You need objective emotional thinking. Means what? You should see those emotions. You cannot go and feel with that. You have to see those emotions. And then you can solve it objectively. Okay, it's a reality that this person is having this feeling. It's a reality this person is having this feeling. That means you have to see the feelings. You have to see the reality. Then you can manage. Then you can adjust, whatever it may be. So therefore, it is our duty to defend the statement of the Shastra that in certain aspects, female brains are less intelligent. I won't say females are less intelligent, female brains are less intelligent. In Kali Yuga, I would modify that statement to say, because there are no ideal man or woman which the Shastra is talking about. A well-trained woman in a Vedic society is a woman. A well-trained male in a Vedic society is a man. So there is no training for a man, there is no training for a woman in this modern context. So according to training, some male may have a female brain, female may have a male brain, complication, all complicated. So we have to know our own limitations. We understand the principle of transcending all these things by chanting Hare Krishna and thinking of Krishna's pleasure and not our pleasure. Now our pleasure is what traps. Very difficult to detach. If you think this is my enjoyment, it's very difficult to give up. You identify it's very difficult to give up. That I also should go away. The enjoyer and enjoyment together should be seen, and then you can give it up. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We see that Kardama Muni understood Devahuti's heart. So, in this connection, the desire of the heart, is it connected with the soul or is it with the mind? So, the desire of the soul is always to serve the Lord, and desire of the mind, I'm not sure if it is sense enjoyment or something else. Could you please explain, Prabhu?
No, understood Devavuti's heart means he understood Devavuti's intention. Intention is always in the heart. So, the heart means the intention is in the soul, it comes to the mind, it expresses itself through the body also. So, it's not that mind means always enjoyment. It's not true. A pure devotee's mind is not always into it, it's always in love of Krishna. So mind means that, body means always sense gratification. No, spiritual body is always in Krishna's love. So body itself does not mean sense enjoyment, mind itself does not mean sense enjoyment, soul itself doesn't mean no sense enjoyment.
But these are all material energies of the Lord.
The material energies are ultimately spiritual. They are material energy because they are not engaged in Krishna's service. Doesn't mean material energy means Maya. Material energies, at greater definition, it is Krishna's energy. When it operates to make you forget Krishna, then you call it as Maya, effect of material energy. When it makes you remember Krishna, it is a spiritual effect. When this microphone is used for Krishna's work, it's not material. It does not have the characteristic of material energy. It has a characteristic of its original nature, which is Krishna's direct energy. So therefore, if you see, everything is spiritual. Prabhupada gives the example of how electricity used for cooling and heating, both are electricity. Just because it is cooling, you cannot say it is not electricity. Similarly, this energy is Krishna's energy. It is real energy. So we relate with this energy as a real energy for the pleasure of Krishna, for service of Krishna, then it is spiritual. So objects, body, mind, everything is spiritual. But the mode in which it is functioning now is Maya. It functions in a mode in which it makes the soul forget Krishna's pleasure and starts thinking of independent ananda, independent pleasure. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Today the method that has been in the lecture, it has been given like seeing the emotions objectively. I understood in it as a method of, as a principle of detachment, detaching ourselves from the situation, from the thing. But at the same time, in the previous lectures, I have learned method of attachment to spiritual things, to deity of the Lord, to holy name, and that itself brings detachment.
That itself,
take care of the detachment from the material things.
Right.
So these two methods, can they be applied at the same time, or in the application level? How do we understand? How do we know at what time which of these principles should be applied? Because both seems to be working both should be working in different way. One is transcending ourselves from material things, and one is attaching ourselves to spiritual things. So can we apply both the principles at the same time, which is very difficult?
Simultaneously you can. One will push out the other. If you paste attachment, or if you practice attachment, or if you contemplate on Krishna's qualities, or all the things that Prabhupada talks about, or attachment to reading Prabhupada's books, attachment to hearing, attachment to chanting. When you do all those things, those attachments will push out the unwanted Maya attachments. That is realization. It will push it out. But till it pushes out, if it comes and disturbs, meantime, what will you do? Be equipped with this also.
Yes,
do both. Observe it and chant on Hare Krishna to that also. And send him off. Here is an enjoyer ego coming, desiring enjoyment. You observe your enjoyer ego, false ego, with the enjoyment. Look at it, chant on Hare Krishna to him and send him off. Say goodbye and send him off. I have no quarrels with you, goodbye. Go away. When you tell this much, half the amplified attachment is gone. When you tell this much. That is why Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur says, beat your mind with the shoes, with the broom. Why? To beat, you have to see, no? Is it not? That means you go on beating 100 times, which means 100 times you are seeing the mind is not you. Will you beat yourself? What is our conditioned nature? We will never harm ourselves. We will only beat others. Right? So therefore it is a very good exercise to detach. Beat your mind. Otherwise you are saying, I am my mind. Not even 1 second you are able to detach yourself from the mind. Material mind. So we do both. Paste and unpaste. Attach and detach. These 4 regulative principles are meant for unpasting. Then you're pasting positive. So many don't do's are there in bhakti. These are all unpasting. We have to take decision to unpaste them. We get strength by pasting the positive. Any other question? Okay, too late now.
Like in the service of in the Hare Krishna, like when we do service to the Lord, it is said that we should apply our emotions, and that is attitude to do that particular service. But sometimes to execute some existential thing, we have to keep our emotions away and put our cognitive intelligence more on that particular thing. So how do we balance both emotion thinking and existential thinking to do it in a right attitude?
I told you, emotion is a force. You have to intelligently use that force. A force can be used, misused and used. If you get attached to something which you should not be attached according to Casey, let's say you are given a service, you are so attached that tomorrow the authority says change your service to this, then you are attached, then that is your wrong use of the force. So don't glorify emotions, glorify emotional intelligence. I should be intelligent with my emotions. This is a very powerful force. I should utilize intelligence. Neither you should reject emotions. How can you live without feeling? Always feelings are there. In fact, feelings bring success. But how much feeling, etc. We have to intelligently do things. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.